Hello, everyone. My name is Nelson,
And I'm Nikki.
and welcome to Button Mash Murders Episode 3.
Welcome.
Hold on, let me do that again. Hold on, I'm sorry, I didn't have the volume up. Let's do it again. Okay. My name is Nelson,
And I'm Nikki.
and we
Wait,
are
wait, I
Button.
don't like that. Do it again.
Okay, let's do it again. My name is Nelson,
And I'm Nikki.
and we are the Button Mash Murderers. Okay, can I do that one more time in this episode, just randomly?
Only one more time.
Okay, just one more time.
Once.
Okay,
Okay.
so where were we at?
Well, let me let the people know what we're doing, and then I'll tell them where we're at as far as what we're reading out of and everything. Got to give this gentleman, this author, his due.
Absolutely. This is great
So,
so far.
yeah. Um, we are reading from a book called American Demon, Elliot Ness, and the Hunt for America's Jack the Ripper by Daniel Stashower. This is two stories that intersect. It is about um, unsolved serial murders that happened in the 30s in Cleveland, and the detective who took down Al Capone, who was later assigned to try and solve these.
Yeah, that's really, and we talked about this a little bit um in between the episodes, but it's amazing because nowadays narcotics and your murder detectives and everyone in the police force has their own specific thing that they do. So to have someone that is involved in trying to take down this gang member, but also hunts down serial killers is that's a pretty impressive resume.
Yeah, yeah, when he was put on this task force, he really didn't have any training for that either. I feel like nowadays there's probably a lot of training. I wouldn't know from the inside or anything like that, of
Yeah, how
course,
do you
but
train for Al Capone though?
mm,
It
yeah.
almost makes you wonder if his brother worded it a certain way, but the chief is like, yeah, we'll let him on the force, but he's got to take care of our Capone issue.
Mhm.
Because I don't think there were many cops lined up to try to take this guy down, so he might have got trapped into it.
Yeah, well, I think the book is gonna go into this later, but with Capone, it was very much, honey or the vinegar, like the carrot or the stick, and you're either gonna take the money or, you can have very bad things happen to you.
Yeah, and if you're a cop back then, making probably next to nothing and risking your life every day, you're probably taking the money.
Most did. And where we are right now is at the point where Elliot Ness has put together his team, and he didn't get a lot of what he was asking for, but what he did get is honest men who were not going to take bribes. We stopped right before he started his operations. He needed to figure out how to do things different. In the past, what happened was everybody was trying to find the beer, find the alcohol. And Ness actually had kind of a breakthrough. And this is where he had so much more success. He said he wanted to focus on the shell rather than the pea. Instead of putting their
Do
a
peas have shells?
focus. Yeah, yeah, they totally do.
I guess I'm thinking of like peanut shells.
Yeah, you gotta shell peas.
Oh, I got a double jump.
Hmm. Oh, so or the peanut shell instead of the peanut.
That makes more sense.
Yes, we'll go with that. Um, So instead of putting their attention on the beer, they attempted to track the barrels used to deliver.
Very smart. Very, very
Yeah.
smart.
The first observation they had was that the barrels had to be used over and over again. So if they could follow a beer barrel from a speakeasy, then eventually they would wind up locating a brewery. So that was a big deal. It was easier said than done, though. The operatives were very aware of this, and they took a lot of precautions as far as moving things, lookouts, delays, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I can only imagine. I mean, that was their bread and butter.
mhm. Yep. The first opening, the first big big thing they got was when a cluster of the empty barrels was tracked to an old factory near Comiskey Park. And it was a baseball field on the south side.
Wha-
Um, hmm,
No, it's just the first boss fight. So
oh,
yeah,
oh, what's happening?
I'm just continuing the murder spree. The characters in this are great. The voice acting, everything is really, I don't know, it just feels good. It's hard to describe if you've never played like a first person shooter or anything,
Mm-mm.
but
No, for me, myself, and if anybody else is
in that world,
in that world, yeah, no, I've played some of the get your girlfriend, get your wife to play with you type games
yes,
with
this is
Nelson,
not that.
but no first persons for me.
This is not that. But I'm just trying not to be too bad during our first little series. So I'll just be happy not dying 100 times.
Well, I'm proud of you either
Yeah,
way.
thanks.
You're welcome. Do these guys have interesting nicknames, as we've been noticing?
Yes. Yes, they really do. I'll have to point some out. It's
Please do.
mainly just the main characters, but very kind of the same speakeasy noir 1930s names,
Mhm.
except they're most likely going to contain a cheese or multiple cheeses because it really leans on the mouse aesthetic.
You know what just occurred to me? When last episode I mentioned a movie and then I couldn't remember the movie and I said I'd look it up.
Yes,
So what I was thinking of was The Departed.
very good movie, I think.
Yeah, really good movie. So Jack Nicholson is a mob boss and he kind of does the same thing as Al Capone. Takes care of the community so that he has a lot more of an ability to do what he does in the neighborhood and people aren't going to talk to the cops. All right. So where were we? We're talking about the first opening. Yeah, the Capone gang had their operations, and this was where they figured out a plant was being used to clean the barrels. So,
A plant.
mhm.
What do you mean a plant?
Like a factory, a plant.
Oh, I don't know why, but I instantly thought, like a plant. Like, oh, we have a
Oh,
plant in the police station or something.
okay. Many of those, but nope. We're talking about like a production facility type place. Um, So Ness had these guys called wheelmen who were drivers that were really good at going undetected and they could follow you around. And he had them track the barrels from the cleaning plant to the final destination, which they were positive was the brewery. So they tailed it to a large garage in Cicero and they were excited to make it their first federal raid.
Wow, so they went in guns blazing.
Oh, they created something absolutely new, unforeseen.
So were they just following the barrels, or did they also know that Al Capone was specifically involved in this?
Mm. I'm not sure how they knew that it was him. They did say that um, the Capone squad was doing the tailing. So maybe it was partially that a lot of these guys that they were seeing were known to be working for Capone.
That makes sense.
I'm not sure because it didn't say that specifically. Um, but yeah, this raid was going to be different because in the past, the raids got bogged down because the agents were trying to force their way through the brewery doors. Um, the doors were reinforced with steel, and that would alert the workers, and there were escape hatches.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, as to that point, no worker had ever been collared at all. They'd never made an arrest anytime that they had tried to bust these Capone breweries.
Wow.
Mhm. So, Ness had a secret weapon. He came up with this on his own, a 10-ton truck rigged with a heavy steel prow.
That's pretty impressive.
Mhm.
That's kind of like the Troy, the little horsey.
The,
Horsey.
the the horsey,
Yeah, horsey.
the Trojan horse,
I think they call it horsey.
the horsey of
Yes.
Trojan. Yes,
Something like that.
the horsey of Troy. Its face launched 1,000 ships. So he said that it was his plan not to give anybody a chance to escape. So they wanted to smash the doors in and just completely go in on the raid and grab everyone they could. So, at the morning of March 11th, 1931, everything was gotten ready. And just after dawn, his men took up the positions. And at the last minute, he got reinforcements in to cover all of the exits, which they had been observing, including skylights.
Wow, okay.
Mhm. They had the 10-ton truck. Um, let's see, they got 5 men in a truck, 10 more in pairs of sedans. Like they had a lot going on here. And then the sedans had ladders. So as soon as they smashed the doors, like the men could scramble onto the roof.
That is really cool.
Mhm. Yep. And while they were waiting, they could see trails of steam, which was a sign that the brewing vats were churning. And Ness gave the signal. And this was a very big moment.
So what weapons did they have back then? Because I know they didn't have Tommy guns or anything that
They didn't?
gang members. Well, not the police,
Oh, you know, I don't think it's even mentioned it yet.
because if they went in there with batons dropping down from skylights, that's pretty hardcore.
I don't know. I mean, they'd say, "We went in blazing like real gangbusters." A guy named Al Wolf, said guns a blazing, but they didn't say which guns. So I don't know. That would be another good thing to look
That
up.
would be, yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, this is the moment that it says would be showcased again and again in books, TV programs, and movies. They battered through the doors and arrived like the hammer of justice.
Ooh,
Mhm. When they first got through, they thought that it was a bust. They didn't see anything. It looked like a completely empty warehouse. But Ness was kind of like looking around and he realized at the back was a wooden wall that was painted black, about 2 trucks lengths away from the front door of the building. The interior of the warehouse had been dressed like a stage set, and the back concealed a large space that hid the actual brewery operation.
wow.
Mhm. When they got in there, they got their prisoners.
So if you if you were just in the main area and the vats weren't going, does that mean that it was so well hidden that you wouldn't like did the disguise actually work?
Yeah. I mean, the vats were going at the time that they busted down the front, and it almost worked. That's
That's
pretty well hidden.
that's ingenious.
Yeah, but not enough. Not enough for Elliot Ness. So he got his prisoners, they got his men, they got 3 trucks, they got a big supply of beer in barrels, and then more than a dozen massive brewing vats, each with a capacity of several hundred gallons.
Ooh,
Yeah,
a lot of booze.
the Boy Scout had pulled it off.
Okay, I'm done.
That's
Sorry.
it though. You don't get any more. So they got more raids in the early months of 1931. All in all, in 1931, they got 45 trucks and 25 breweries.
Whoa, 25?
They did it. Yep, they did it the same way every time.
Who was
Just
buying all this booze though?
everybody, everybody.
Wow, so they would just pull up. Was there like a I imagine like a drive-through with just like someone offering pints as you drive through. Just illegal booze.
I don't know how they specifically sold it. I mean, everybody's kind of familiar with the whole speakeasy thing, right? Where there's like a password and you go in and it's normally like a restaurant or a coffee house or in some like it hot, it's a
Yeah.
funeral house. And I don't know how they like sold them. Yeah, they did it all the same way. Came in, smashed it up, had their guys with ladders going onto the rooftops. They put a set of handles onto the cab of the battering ram truck to keep them from snacking their noggins around.
Wow.
Yeah. Even so, they would put on like leather football helmets. At the time, football, they didn't have like the kind of helmets we have now. They're these
So the
little
police
leather
put
things.
put on helmets, leather.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. So let's see here. We got some more info about some more busts. Nelliot, Nelliot,
Nelliot.
Nelliot, Elliot Ness said that his exploits were dangerous. They were going around. Oh, here's your question answered. We traveled with sawed-off shotguns in our pockets.
That is. Yeah.
Yeah, they just like walked around like 24/7 with sawed-offs.
Wow.
When they went to a restaurant, they always took the corner table. Like, they were totally watching their backs everywhere they went. Oh, well, I don't think we've announced our fellow studio member over here, Astra.
Yeah, you may hear both Pitbull and cat noises in the background,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
they like to get especially active when we want to have the house quiet for recording, so
I know you were trying to handle that quietly, and it just
it
didn't
wasn't
work
gonna
out.
happen.
Nope. So that was Astra. Okay, so we were at
Shoddy.
sawed off shotguns in their pockets, looking over their shoulder. Capone's men were trying to buy Ness off, becoming more and more insistent. And it says that Ness was offered 2 crisp $1,000 bills on his desk every Monday morning.
Ooh, ironed.
Hmm. Smooth. Says that his salary was less than 3 grand per year, but he waved it away.
Wow.
Mhm. He said as the investigation went on, they were being so squeezed that they could barely operate. They became more desperate and more bold. One day, as two of my agents followed a barrel truck, a car pulled up beside them, and the driver threw a huge roll of bills in the window, which landed in the lap of one of my men. Ness added with evident pride, he immediately threw it back.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say he threw like a stick of dynamite into his lap.
Nope, just money. And when that failed, they went to other tactics. One morning, when Ness emerged from his apartment, he found his sedan propped on blocks with the front wheels missing.
Ooh, wow.
And then as time wore on, they started to get threatening phone calls, and hoods in pearl gray hats could be seen lounging around near their homes. Like hoods, like, bad guys who are
Yeah, that
just
is.
around their houses.
Yeah,
And
if you're not gonna take the money, they're not gonna stop.
yeah, I mean, and this is the part for me, I'm like, okay, okay, not taking bribes, that's supposed to be your job. But the part where there's guys like right outside your home and you have a wife and kids inside, that's the part where I'm like, wow, that's pretty serious.
Which is why they were looking for single people that weren't involved, with families, because I can only imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to get police protection, but it didn't always work. Their headquarters got broken into, like the files got rifled. Um, they tapped the phone lines. Um, One time they told him that sometime soon you're going to be found lying in a ditch with a hole in your head and your, I'm not going to say it, but your manhood slashed off.
Wow, and a crisp $1,000 in his mouth. Just should have taken the money.
Yep, rough. Let's see. They were getting tailed. Let's see. And these people, when they were arresting them or frisking them, the numbers were all filed off of the gun.
Of course, yes.
And apparently, at the time, the mob's method of killing was to shoot a victim and throw the gun next to the body with the serial numbers all filed off, so you would know. So,
It's funny that kind of the gangster movie cliches is actually true. Like
yeah,
a lot of the stuff that they portray is actually real life.
yeah, and it's we're playing video games and we're laughing right now about bugs and spats and stuff, but I'm sure honestly this was a really scary time to live through.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Yeah, but it came to an end on June 5th, 1931. Al Capone was indicted on 22 counts of income tax evasion,
Ooh,
alleging more than 1 million of undeclared income between 1924 and 1925.
wow.
Yeah, 1 week later, he was indicted a second time for the prohibition violations in one gigantic conspiracy case that alleged 13 million of annual beer sales over roughly the same period of time.
That is a lot of Miller Lite.
He was brought to the bar of justice on two indictments, one with 5,000 violations of the liquor law and collusion with 68 others.
5,000 violations?
Mhm. Yep.
That is, yeah, you're going to be in there. You're going to be in the clink for a little bit with 5,000 violations.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Foreshadowing. Mhm. Oh, right. And the new nickname. So the Untouchables nickname, it only kind of was becoming like nationwide at this time when they were reporting on the actual like trial and everything itself. So like the New York Times was when they started saying the Untouchables have accomplished their mission and are waiting for further orders. But they were about to find themselves on the sidelines.
The
Ness.
police?
No, Elliot Ness and his group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said, "Did you ever think you wanted something more than anything else in the world, and then after you got it, it wasn't half as good as you expected?" Because you think about it, he has all his life, all sorts of things have been part of his personality and his world, and all of his interests led up to this moment. People didn't even see it coming. Then all of a sudden, boom, everything has happened. He's taken down this guy. It's worldwide attention on this. But then once you get it, it's over. Where do you go from there? You got Al Capone.
Yeah, that's the top, you know?
Yep. Where do you go? So in 1931, he was found, Al Capone, guilty of 5 of the 23 counts that he was brought up on. 3 of them were felonies and 2 were misdemeanors. And you might have thought that he was gonna get, like, I don't know, life.
Yeah, you would think with 5,000 violations.
How long do you think he got?
Mm, I mean, I would have said life. So if you're saying no,
Mm-mm.
let's say 15 years.
Lower.
Really?
Mhm.
What was it?
11.
11 years.
Mhm. Yep, he
Was
got 11 years.
it's just the lawyer was able to work it out?
I don't know.
I gotta plug this in. Never mind me. I'm just doing stuff.
Okay, while he's still doing stuff, I'll continue on. So, 11 years. His lawyers worked tirelessly to even make it less than that, but they weren't able to shorten it any more than that.
Shocking.
Mhm. He was immediately transferred to Atlanta, where the routine testing came out that he was positive for syphilis.
Oh,
And
what
he,
do you mean routine testing?
like when you get booked, you get like a medical exam and stuff.
Yeah, I've never been booked, so I didn't know.
Well, I mean, I've never been booked either, but
I'm not trying to accuse you. I'm just saying I don't know anything about it.
well, honey, there's some things I haven't told you about myself. No. Yeah, it's just part of the medical exam came up with syphilis, and because of that, he ended up with progressive dementia.
What?
Hmm.
Wait, so you can get dementia from an STD?
Um, yeah, syphilis killed people.
That is messed up.
Oh yeah, like um, I can't remember which number he was. There was a King Henry of France had syphilis, and it ended up killing him. And yeah, yeah, syphilis. Yeah, syphilis can kill you, and
Keep
it
that in mind, kids. No syphilis.
yeah, go be safe, go get tested.
And yeah, be
Yeah,
safe, go get tested, no dementia.
yeah. No racketeering. Don't end up like Al Capone. So he got progressive dementia. And in 1938,
My
they
God.
had their brand new sparkling Alcatraz that they were very excited to transfer Al Capone to because it's supposed to be for like all the big bads. Alcatraz. Why wouldn't you put Al Capone in Alcatraz?
Yep. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
No, I'm good.
eh,
I'm good. It's just a boss that's very annoying. Very, very, very annoying.
I believe in you.
Well, maybe you shouldn't this
I
time.
believe in you more than I believe in Elliot Ness, and that's saying a lot.
I'll take it.
Mm. So, Al Capone, not that I'm sure he did a lot of bad stuff, so but yeah, he's got progressive dementia, but he's still Al Capone, so they transfer him to Alcatraz so they can say they've got all these bad guys in Alcatraz. But yeah, he started being in the headlines under Al Capone mental break, and they released him only after a year of being in Alcatraz.
Wow. Uh,
Hmm.
just a year.
Yep.
Was it because of the dementia?
No, I think he did his time.
He did his time.
I think, but he was, quote, a broken man. He was released a year after being in there, and he died in January of 1947, only a few days short of his 48th birthday.
Wow, that is extremely young. I thought he was older. I know he died in Miami, but I didn't know he died so young.
Yeah, yeah, and they specifically kinda went into the whole thing that pretty much was it. You know, he was on top of the world, on top of his game, and then you would think 11 years, because nowadays, you'd think, "Oh, 11 years for all that. Yeah, you'll get off in half your time with good behavior. Not too bad, but not for Al Capone."
Wow.
Yeah,
So that's it.
that's it.
Elliot Ness was that was his great victory, and then he just kind of didn't know what to do next with his life.
Well, yeah, there's a little into it. We're gonna come into it later,
Okay.
but I think it's okay for me to say the reason why these two different subjects intersect is after that there really wasn't anything more for Elliot Ness to do in Chicago, and that's how he ended up in Cleveland.
Okay.
And a lot of people didn't want the Boy Scout around in Chicago anymore. You know, there's this guy, and he's gotten all this, success, and he's gotten world and national attention. What are you gonna do with the guy?
Send him to Cleveland.
Send him to Cleveland. That's what happened.
Okay.
All right.
And I just died again. So we are
I'm
going to have to
sorry.
do this next time.
Okay,
And hopefully I will be able to beat this SOB.
you will.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.